Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, ANITA FINLEY.
I'm Dan Verity, the administrator of Boomer Times and Senior Life magazine, and I'm guest hosting today for ANITA FINLEY, who is taking very good care of Bill as he recuperates in the hospital. And one of my favorite people is with me today, TANYA ABREU. Hi, TANYA.
Hi,
How
Dan.
are you?
I'm good. Very good.
And TANYA is with the WOW Health Studio in Boca, Raton. And we're going to talk today about, and I was just saying to TANYA that I don't know anything about this, so I'm so glad that she's here because she's going to tell me all about the power of home wellness, Marcus Welby medicine. So that sounds, of course, I know Marcus Welby as,
we all
from
know
TV,
Marcus Welby.
right?
I grew up on Marcus Welby.
Right.
My grandmother watched Marcus Welby, and it was a part of our understanding of what a doctor should be like, right?
Yes.
And if there are people who aren't familiar with Marcus Welby, he was a very dapper, debonair, compassionate, kind, silver foxed kind of man that looked like a handsome grandfather.
Right.
And was really concerned in about the welfare of his individual patients. The show really gained popularity in the early 70s, late 60s, early 70s, when everyone was understanding that medicine was taking a super shift into the commercial zone, that doctors were becoming specialists, that hospitals were becoming the place you get your care, that you could no longer get an appointment with a doctor when you needed it, that doctors' offices were just really big old waiting rooms and very difficult, minimal times with your primary healthcare provider. Mm-hmm. And I think that American television really iconicized Dr. Welby as one of a dying breed, that doctor that was more concerned about the individual than the system, mm-hmm. that doctor who would come to your home in a moment's notice to make sure that his care plan for you was working, and that you were out of danger or that you were preventing bad illness from happening. So that's what I call Marcus Welby medicine, the kinds of healthcare facilities and doctors that are more focused on you as an individual, and in our particular demographic as an aging individual with a whole host of problems that aren't just physical, mm-hmm. Their family, their social, their emotional, their spiritual, and who really or she really wants for you to move to a better level of feeling good, that level of feeling wow. That's why we call ourselves Wow Health, that you never have to feel worn out. You can always, even in just a few moments, get to a point where you feel better, where you feel wow. So that's Marcus Welby medicine.
That sounds wow.
We hope to spread it all over the place. Right here in South Florida, though,
Right.
It's really needed. There's concierge medicine popping up where you can pay a couple grand a year, mm-hmm. and have access to your doctors by email, by phone, and you don't have to wait for appointments, and that's great. And I don't know how many people can afford that,
right.
In addition to their insurance and things, but we really believe that it's possible. That's kind of the Saks Fifth Avenue of medicine.
Yeah,
I really believe that there's a Target store, like
right.
a Target, Macy's kind of medicine that is equally as concierge or as navigated mm-hmm. as that real luxe type of medicine. At WOW Health, our commitment is to prevention. Now, look, when you're getting old, you can't prevent aging. So we all have things like osteoarthritis, arthritis, high blood pressure, problems with our glucose, problems with our libido, our hormones, headaches, pain. That's natural. That's what it is to age and
right.
become the wise elders that we were all meant to be. But in healthcare, you don't need to go to chop shops.
Yeah.
I believe, as we formed this model called WOW Health, that you need to have an advocate. You need to have one person managed by one doctor. Now, they may not do, like our doctor doesn't do illness care. She does wellness care here mm-hmm. in Boca. And she will make sure you go to your orthopedic physician, or you go to your surgeon, or you go to your cardiologist. But she's really about rounding out your wellness plan.
Right.
We also believe in home health. The one thing you said was the power of home health.
Mm-hmm.
You all know that the last thing you want to do at 68 years old with a virus needing to be close to your own bathroom is to get up, get somebody to get you a ride, drive 5 miles, sit in a waiting room, have, your blood pressure taken because it's high because you're in a waiting room. And you just, you don't want to do it.
Right.
You would rather wait until you got more sick. And God forbid you got so sick you had to go to the ER.
Right.
We believe that you can be healthier if you take your home as your primary physician office.
Right. Okay.
And so we offer services from a doctor coming to your home, not for illness. She would prefer that someone else did that, but for things like evaluations of your health records. She'll come and look at everything. A lot of people have thyroid issues as we age. Look at those things. Look at your nutritional tests. What are you doing for your health? How are you eating? How can we change your diet that's still delicious, but better for your health? We also do wonderful things. We will send medical assistants to the home to do vitamin B injections, to do IV therapies for energy, wellness, immune support, vitamin C. We have an incredible team of therapeutic massage therapists, reflexologists, acupuncturists, anti-aging skincare. Heck, we'll even do your Botox and fillers in your home.
Wow.
We just want to come and say, here's what we offer. What will make you feel good today? And we will design a package for you today and into the new year so that you get what you want where you want it.
Right. So it's this complete, it's treating health care, or I should correct myself and say wellness care as a complete package rather than individualized things like an illness, like a cold or a flu, for instance. It's one thing to treat those symptoms, but what we're trying to do is to treat the whole person with, like you said, spirituality and just general wellness. Because I really think if you feel well about yourself, in a lot of cases, disease can be prevented, I think.
Or at least not be as intense.
Right. You're right. Yeah.
Right? I mean, I know people that have high blood pressure, for instance, that are at the doctor every week because they're dizzy, they have headaches. And then I know people that have those same numbers and they're on the same medications, but they are exercising. They are not bothered by it. They have friends. They have a good social life. They get massages regularly. They look good because they really work at making themselves feel beautiful. And they have the same medications in their body and the same blood pressure issues, but it's how we approach them.
Right.
And the ancillary things that we do that make the difference, really make the difference.
Fascinating. It really is fascinating. And, a lot of this, as we go back to Marcus Welby, I'm trying to figure out this, and this happened in my lifetime, but when did medicine change, and when did wellness care change? When did doctors stop making house calls?
When they started making money.
Really? Okay.
When it became very profitable to be a physician. It wasn't profitable to be a physician in the 40s and 50s. It was a vocation. It was a life calling. It was like being a priest or a school teacher. It was something that you wanted to do. And you made a decent living from the turn of the century in the 1900s when doctors began to have to be certified, and it began to become quite elite. As the 70s approached, and certainly as the technology of the 80s approached, it became, well, if we can just use machines and charge more for 15-minute increments, we can become very much a mechanized system of health, make people healthy. It's not like we've lost sight of health of people, but it's really how much can we do that we can bill for. I hate to say that because I've been a part of medicine for 3 decades, and I've been a part of decisions that were like, okay, well, if we do this center, let's make sure we have these machines here because we can bill for them. And you know what? Even if the patient really doesn't need to have that baseline, let's do it so we have it on record.
Right.
But you know what? Let's do it because it's really going to be a $150 bill. I I believe that we should make money at keeping people healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that it is not a state mandate to take care of people. I believe that it is an industry, and it is as good as any other industry.
Mm-hmm.
And doctors deserve premium wage, as
Right.
do nurses, as do other providers.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the ancillary things like technologies and pharmaceuticals that I think really got people like, okay, well, I got to take advantage of this, right?
Right.
I got to take advantage of this. So Marcus Welby's of the world moved into offices, began to see 4 to 6 patients an hour, and used specialists to surround sound them and technology to verify their intuition.
Right.
I don't know how many doctors have intuition now because they don't get paid for it. It takes long to sit down and talk to somebody and figure
Right.
out really what's going on. But I do want to say, when we talk about the power of home, and you mentioned, prevention. I have a woman who has a few friends over every couple of months, and they do Botox and fillers, but they also do facials and massages together. There's 4 of them. And they're the healthiest women in their 70s that I know, and they look hot. They look great. They have really healthy salads and chicken and great things when they have people in their homes. And they don't pay that much more. I mean, we do any of our services, and we do within 25 miles of Boca at a 50% premium. So if a massage is $100 in the office, it's $150 for us to come for that whole hour at the house. Really not bad. It's less than most spas charge. But truly, it makes a difference.
Sure.
You're home. You're empowered. You can laugh. You can connect to the people around you.
Right.
The best that I know are the couples that do this, where the husbands aren't really that keen on going to a spa. But the idea of having someone come in a living room and just take care of you, and not just because you need to be pampered, but because actually doing a massage once a month, even once a week, if you can afford it, actually raises the strength of your immune system. It is scientific proof.
Right.
So as you age and you become more susceptible to diseases, having a massage is not a luxury. It is like taking your medicines. It's better. It affects all of your systems.
Sure. And if you equate massage to, say, physical therapy, which is something that I had many years ago, and oh my goodness, when I left that therapist's office, I felt amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was probably, to me, it was really nothing more than, I guess, a glorified massage. But, wow, I felt like $1 million afterwards.
Everything was stretched, right?
Everything was
You had room
stretched.
to breathe. Your blood had room to flow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt like, when they say in yoga, there's a pose that you do to stretch your spine to release the toxins in between the discs, but that's how I felt. The energy was just incredible.
We don't do frou-frou massage or facials.
Uh-huh.
Our massage therapists are all therapeutic. They are all certified in what they call musculoskeletal therapies, myofascial release, doing the things that physical therapists do, but not in a physical therapy environment, but more along the lines of a massage table or,
Right. Yeah.
And it really is amazing. And I agree with you. If I feel a headache coming on, I'm very fortunate that I have access to really, I've had probably 1,000, maybe 2,000 massages in my lifetime. It's how I stay healthy, how I attribute, surviving cancer and, living with cancer and just depression and all kinds of things that happen to us at different times of our lives.
Right.
Massage releases all the stuff that makes you sick.
Right.
Physical toxins, emotional toxins, doubts, lack of love in your life, loneliness. That connection with a good therapist is worth its weight in plutonium, for God's sake.
Right, sure. Well, TANYA ABREU is the founder and president of the WOW Health Studio, and they are located at 5821 North Federal Highway in Boca Raton, Florida, 33437?
87.
Okay. I have a pen mark over that. So, and give them a call at 866-376-0632, or you can go on the website at wowhealthgroup.com and find out much more information about all these wonderful services that Tanya and her group provide. And
right now we have an amazing special.
Okay.
It's the end of the year. We know everyone's out there saying, I'm going to lose 20 pounds. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that.
It's that time of year, right?
We do what we call WOW Wellness Plans.
Okay.
Our doctor oversees it, and we have a coach. And it's $150, and it's an hour with a doctor, an hour with a coach, and we can do it on phone or in person. But what it is there's questionnaires about your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual life. So those are the 4 elements.
Okay.
And also your medicines, your health conditions, and your desires to feel vital in the next year.
Okay.
Our doctor and our WOW Health Style coach crunches that information and puts together a recommendation plan. Now, it doesn't involve our services necessarily, but it will be a recommendation plan of things that you might want to do every month for the next year. And it's powerful. You know, there's financial plans, right? We all have those. We want to plan for our legacy, for our retirement, to make sure we have enough money. We don't do that with our health. So how do you plan that you don't have a stroke in the middle of this year?
That's true.
How do you plan that you feel beautiful and vital at 80 rather than, I don't really know why I'm still around?
Right, yeah.
And these types of WOW Wellness plans, they're for all ages. You know, if you have children that are midlife adults, they need these wellness plans as much as anybody.
Right.
But it's really time to sit down, not to say, I want to lose this, I want to do this, I want to do that, and, you know, just jump into it, but really to have a holistic plan that involves all the areas of your life. And like WOW Health has those 4 areas. Again, I'll repeat them. It's your spiritual, which we just want to make sure that you feel that that's whole for yourself. But the really important things that we look at is your emotional health, your mind balance, your physical health, because we know that really affects your mind. So your physical health, your pain levels, your risk factors, the chronic diseases that you're dealing with, and then lastly, emotional, your social world, your relationships. And those 4 things, mental. Did I say mental? No, I said emotional. And mental. Mental is your intellectual world.
Right.
What you work, where you volunteer, those are really important things to your health too.
Right.
So those 4 things, mental, spiritual, emotional, and physical, are really a part of the base of your wellness plan. They're your investments.
Yeah.
And it's fun to do. And
it sounds like it. And I'm thinking that, you know, once folks get this sort of action plan, as you said, it's projected, into the year ahead?
Into the year.
Okay. And it certainly sounds, though, like it's attainable stuff. It's not like...
It has to be.
Well, of course it does. And I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of New Year's resolutions fail is because they're really not attainable goals, are they?
It's all or nothing right now.
It's all or nothing.
And,
exactly.
Or I'm a failure, so why bother?
Right. And so that feeling of failure just even compounds the whole thing, and it just snowballs from there. But this WOW action plan or health plan is something...
Action is a good word. I call it the WOW Wellness Plan, but the action plan is a really good word.
Right. And it's something that people can do.
It's on a piece of paper and digital, and it's yours. You can always come back to us. You can talk to our coaches. You can do our services. But for me, it was really important to design a program that you ended up with a document and a roadmap to feeling wow. And it to be attainable, and for you to have power over what aspects of it you really want to integrate into your life. You know, it's funny. I say this, we have people that will come in, men especially, and they'll come in and they'll complain about pain, and that's what they want to work on. They want to work on pain. They're single, they're widows, they're divorced, and so we get to the root of what they want to work on. But in the end, it wasn't that. they want to get Botox. I had a guy the other day that in the end saying, you know what, my knees really aren't that bad, but when I look in the mirror, it hurts. My knees aren't that bad. When I look in the mirror, it hurts. And then, you start, when you have that kind of relationship where you can laugh and really understand people and allow people to have personal honesty with you, it goes really far. I think that, he doesn't need Viagra. He needs to get his, he uses that. But what he really needs is to get his blood flowing differently. Mm-hmm. And there are different ways that make you feel better all the time, not just when you want to have intimate relations.
Right.
Why do you just want to feel like you have blood flow then? You should feel like you blood flow when you get up in the morning, So it's interesting. We really listen. Mm-hmm. And so many of us deceive ourselves. We think we really want to lose 50 pounds, but what we really want to do is get a new job. We really want to get a new job, and really what we want to do is lose 10 pounds. I mean, our minds work funny.
Yeah.
And sometimes taking these like these what I call the assessment really is like, wow, that's kind of cool. Just answering the questions are cool.
Tanya, this is fascinating me.
Good.
So they go in and they do this questionnaire.
Mm-hmm. They don't have to come in. We'll email it to them or fax it to them or mail it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And obviously, I'm thinking of this guy that came in and wound up having Botox, mm-hmm. and obviously at some point he felt comfortable enough with your staff getting to the bottom of what really was the issue. So you folks are masters at what you do.
I don't know if we're masters, but we're masters at one thing, and that is authenticity.
Okay.
Every therapist I have, my physician is probably, and I know you've met her, one of the most authentic. Her name is Dr. Allison Levitt here in Boca. We have some other offices open, and she'll oversee them, but she herself is a powerhouse of honesty and humor. And there's nothing that we can't talk about with our clients behind closed doors because of her. Because there's no judgment, there's no ickiness to her. We're just human beings all trying to live as pain-free as possible and as age-free as possible.
Right.
Those are the two things we want. Less pain, more youth. Less pain, more youth. Mm-hmm. If we could have a plan to do that, and we can have a medical team, which WOW Health offers, at our place or in your home, to make you have fun doing it.
Right.
We have a saying, good health is never guilty. It's never guilty. You should never feel guilty. If you're feeling guilty and you're going to do something because you feel guilty, it's not going to work. It's not.
Right, yeah.
If you say no chocolate, no chocolate, no chocolate, and then you have that piece of chocolate and feel guilty, that is as bad as eating the entire candy bar.
Right.
Guilt wreaks havoc on our immune system, on our T cells, on everything.
Right.
We have to be joyful.
Why do we feel so guilty about doing those things?
It's interesting. I think I've been fortunate in my career to travel a lot, both in what they call first world, second world, and third worlds. Mm-hmm. And second and third worlds don't have guilt. They don't have guilt about their health. They do intuitively what they think is good for them or what their culture thinks is good for them. But in what we call first worlds, I think all kinds of other stuff interferes, like media.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know at all, but, we have doctors that say don't do this, and we have doctors that say do this, and we're robbed of our own sense of personal empowerment.
A lot of conflicting information.
And, the one thing I can say to everybody listening, and please, I want to repeat our phone number. It's 866-376-0632. If you just want to call and talk about anything we're talking about, including that wellness plan, I just want to say this. It is imperative that you feel in control. I, in my role throughout my life working at hospitals, have often been called to my friend's bedside where people are either in last stages of life or very critically ill. And nothing goes right unless either the patient is conscious enough to feel in control or the primary caregiver feels empowered and that they know their decisions are the right ones.
Right.
And why can't we be like that every single day?
Yeah, why not?
And if you want to eat chocolate in some quantity, every couple of days or every day. And if you feel right about that, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Right.
I think when you begin to accept who you are, your body starts to say, you know what, baby, maybe you don't need that chocolate every day.
Right.
You know? It's okay because you're allowed to have it.
Right. It makes perfect sense.
We have a diet. We have a diet that works. I lost 120 pounds on this diet. And we have people lose anywhere in 30, 40 days, anywhere to 40, 50 pounds. And it's a beautiful diet, but it starts out in an amazing way. We force you to gain 3 to 4 pounds in 2 to 3 days.
No kidding.
Oh, no kidding. That means you go out and you eat all the stuff you feel guilty about, a whole pizza.
Okay.
You have to watch if you're diabetic, but all the stuff that you really shouldn't be eating, highest fat contents possible. And then we switch that off and we use a drug called HCG that they identified in India. You'll love this. There are all these poor starving women giving birth to healthy weight babies. And what's discovered is that human gonadotropic hormone actually causes the body to eat its own fat to support a fetus. Right? So it's like a Pac-Man that goes through and eats your fat to feed the fetus. Well, we trick the body, men and women. It started out for men because it works better with men. Trick the body to think that it's pregnant. It has pregnancy hormones, and it just goes through all the fat. And it's amazing. But what's really cool about it is because you have binged for 2 to 3 days and you've gained 3 to 4 pounds, you don't want to eat for that first week that that medicine kicks in because you're still sick. And then by the end of 21 days, you're 20 pounds lighter, and you know that any time in your life you want to, you can do that again. It changes the way you maintain your weight. It's very cool.
Well, this is the power of wellness, Marcus Welby Medicine. And my gosh, this was certainly eye-opening for me.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
good.
It really was.
Well, we will do the wellness plan for you at no cost. I want you to be able to experience it.
Wow.
And that would be really fun for you.
It really will.
Because men really like it even better. Women are used to gushing all over the place, right? Men are really much better at saying, I don't know if I need to do this. But in the end, their wow factor is, shoot, I didn't know that. And that's what I want.
Okay. Well, I'm going to get the wow factor, and I will report back.
Good.
Absolutely. We'll sit down with Tanya again. We'll discuss the results, and that
could be good.
It's going to be very good. So again, you've got to check out the WOW Health Studio located at 5821 North Federal Highway in Boca Raton. And please give Tanya a call at 866-376-0632. And you can also check out a terrific website, wowhealthgroup.com. Tanya, it has been fascinating. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you, Dan.